let's try and get back to where we were. So if you're coming back on here, we moved around a couple things, expanded the canvas size, and now we're getting down here into Raphael. So I am going to put a couple little things on here to get these eyeballs where I want them to be. Now, we might not see very much of Raph's eyes here on this side. So okay. Here's what we gotta do. We gotta get this nose in here. That's more like it. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, we're gonna go around here. Looks like Raph is gonna end up having his mouth maybe more open. Okay. And we're going to get his cheek in here. We're going to have to do, it looks like this angle is going to be kind of difficult. So what I'm doing here now is I am going to give him an open mouth. And it is going to make it easier to see his whole face as well as his facial gesture or the emotion he's going to have on his face. So he's going to be a little more, he's going to have his mouth open, as in the other turtles are kind of gritted with their teeth. Raph is going to have a, like, almost like he's yelling. So we're going to give him parts of the edges of his teeth. Had a little burp. And so when you're drawing teeth and you don't want to show too much detail in the teeth, like if you're drawing somebody with straight teeth, you don't really want, you kind of, you can, but I like to stay away from the spaces in the teeth. Now we got some black eyes happening here, and we don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here, and we can leave a little bit of a heavier line on his eyes, and we are going to have to fix the eyebrows on this other side. So we got those, and we're going to keep that at 0, open that up, and Raph's in the action, so he is having more fun. Raph thrives when he is in the action. That's when he's comfortable. Does he like taking orders from Leo? Let go of my arm, Leo. Alright, we got this going for us now. I'm going to fill that path. Cool. Good. Get out of here, bug. That's the only part of the summertime I despise, is the dang bugs. Alright, now this face is looking a bit better than what we were going with before on the last segment. Now, we're going to cut all that out, so whenever you guys are watching this later, you can just watch it from the good parts. Alright, we're going to get in on his head. His head's not going to be this big. So we're going to get his cranium in here. And you can kind of fudge the shape of a Ninja Turtle head. You can make him pretty consistent. So if we compare him to the other turtles, he's still consistent. He's still got the snout, and he's still got a pretty round head. Sometimes, like, if we look at this, don't start freaking on me, computer. I'm not doing it tonight. So if we see Mikey's head, his jaw probably kind of lines up with the fatter part of his head. We could make Raph's jaw go back that far, but you can kind of see maybe Leo's ends here. His definitely ends there. Mikey's is kind of forward, so you don't really see how far back his head goes. But I think this is a good shape for Raph. I am going to minimize his mask just a tad there for right now, and we're going to get the rest of his head shape. No, don't erase that. Don't you dare start freaking on me, Photoshop. So let's get his jowls in there. I think I just had a mosquito bite me on the ear. Okay. This jaw here, we're going to go, I don't know, 10:45. Let's see how much we can get done here. Don't choke me. Okay. So we got to make this mask happen. So we're going to get his mask on his head. And might change up that edge just a little bit here in a second. So I like to have their masks cut across the little folds between the eyes. And on this Raph, we're going to make his mask a little thinner, going across his eyes because they're down a little bit further, because his head is a little more pointed down than the other guys. There's more up. Mikey's is a little more forward. Whenever you're drawing a human face, you obviously have eyebrows to contend with and a nose, and that helps people who have, that helps your eye because you've seen more people than you have turtles, so we don't really know what the proper way to draw a turtle face pointing down would actually look like. But you can do that with the shapes. What the hell going on there? No, hang on a second. That's what we did. So we want to undo that, and we want to fill that path. So now he's got a bit of a mask. And I'm going to hit my brush, and we're going to just draw that in. Okay, there's good. Give him a couple little small folds here on his eyebrows. A little bit more here. We'll give him some under the eyes kind of spot for the bottom eyelid. Okay, pretty good head for Raph. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put in, let's just keep it going with his chest. The collarbones on the turtles line up with the top of their bottom shells. My versions of the turtles do. There have been so many different ways to draw turtles, and since his head is a little up, we're going to give him a tad bit of a neck muscle there. Okay. So just a little bit of a neck muscle to show that he's got something there. And since we're behind Mikey, we can put his back muscles there. And we will show as much of his back muscles are going to go down here. we're going to do a little bit of the shell here. So we're just going to draw the top of his shell. Okay. And we're going to do this side because I want to be able to see his face and his shell as much as we can. We might make him a little beefier than the other turtles. Okay, so let's fill all those in. We'll make these lines a bit heavier here in just a minute. But we're going to go ahead and do his fist. And he is going to be holding his size in... I don't know if you'd really call this an attack position or defense. Supposedly, size are made for defense more than offense. Even though there's a blade on them, you can turn them around and hold them by the handle, maybe for blocking swords or sticks. So like if you're being attacked by a spear, you can hold a sai in a certain way and it can catch things. So it's got the 3 prongs, right? So you got the 2 down here, and then you've got the sides here and then the one up there in the middle, and you can hold them. What he's going to do is going to be kind of like Wolverine claws here. So you'll see it a couple times in the movies. I've noticed it a lot when people draw. The first I noticed it was whenever people were, or artists were drawing Elektra. Did that close that shape? No, we did something weird there. Oh shoot. We did something strange here, so we're gonna have to redo that line. Connect that. Anyway, what I was saying is that the first time I saw somebody holding size, generally whenever I would see Raph holding his size was always either in the movies or in the old cartoons. Whenever I started getting heavier into comic books in junior high, my buddy got a book that was Marvel versus DC, and it featured lots of popular. It was in the 90s, so it was the characters that were popular in the 90s. It actually had the Ben Reilly Spider-Man in it, and it had obviously Batman, Superman, and the Hulk, and Superboy, and Catwoman, and Storm, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Namor. Namor. We're all gonna call him Namor now, after Black Panther. It's Namor. My name is Namor. My enemies call me Namor. So, anyway, when we read that, Elektra had size, okay, and I'm gonna actually put these with a blunt end for now, and we're going to stroke those. And then we're going to accentuate this part of his hand here right quick. Oh shoot, that's not what I meant to do. Let's do this. We're going to go back. We're going to edit that. Okay, so we got there. So anyway, she would hold it, and if you know the shape of a sai, there's a handle, and there's also a spot to be able to put your your two fingers and you can wrap your hands around the edges. Now, yes, if you are all familiar with Asai, and I'm sure there's martial artists out there who are real keen on these things, but if you've never seen anybody hold Asai this way, or you're not used to it, this is just one way you can hold them. So I'm going to keep those a little, we got them a little thin. We can make them a little bit fatter, especially on this main one here. We can make that a little bit fatter. Maybe turn the point down just a little bit. Yeah, that's okay. And then we'll make this go down some. This can go down some. Maybe we can turn the blades out like this. Give them a little more of a, we can actually delete that anchor point. Make this go up here. This go here-ish. How's that look? That look okay? Yeah, that is not so bad. And then we can give him a little bit of a finger there. So what we're going to do is we're going to stroke these paths, and yes, we will have to go in here and erase a little bit of this because that's going back there. All right, so his sai will be right there, and he's holding it this way. So we'll get a little bit of his tiandian here because he's holding this tight so you can see his finger tendons. Okay. Now that hand is a little bit big, but once we get his other shoulder in here, we're not really going to see too much of his bicep. And his arm is kind of behind Mikey's here. And again, he's kind of hunched over. He's hunched over like a table, or I'm like, is this a chemistry set or something? So we're going to fill that area in a little bit. He's a little beefier than the other guys. His head's a little bit smaller to accentuate that. But we also, I think actually I'm going to turn his, I wonder if we can turn his bandana up a little bit. Better. Warmer. Closer. I'm going to make his mask go up a little bit more than what we had it at. Okay. I don't know if that's any different after erasing that other part. Just a little bit higher up on his head, and then we can get the knot for his bandana made here. And you don't have to try and make this look like anything. You just need to put some kind of marks in here for the bandana. Go back to our, we don't have that at 9. Goodness. Was that for the sai? Maybe. Anywho. So just put something in here, and then we can kind of decide which way we want to have the ends of his bandana go. Quit freaking on me. Alright, so we got this. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to select outside of this so we can draw behind the sai here and not have to worry about it. I'm going to have his torso go down. We're just going to do the middle of his chest and extend his riblet area. And we're going to have that go down to a point here. Have that go up here. Again, not really drawing muscles on the shell, just the idea of where they kind of would be if he had muscles on his body. Now this part right here in the rib area will extend to the shell. So if this is his belt, that needs to go past his back and go around his shell, okay? Because their belts go around their bodies back over towards their shell. Speaking of which, we can put in maybe a heavier shell on Raph. We're going to stroke that. So we got that in there. And get that in. Stroke there. We're going to go for about 15 more minutes. I'm going to make his shell frame here. I don't know what my computer is trying to run, but it is driving me nuts. Okay, we got that. That's going to extend up into here. Okay. Stroke that. Okay, so that's kind of our edge. That's our this edge deal for here. And we don't have to show too much of the back shell because that's going to connect here-ish. Okay. Stroke that. There we go. So now he's got a shell. Might be a little big. We could probably end it right there. But that's fine. I like them. I like the shells. I think the shells are fun to have on there, and they don't detract. That's going to be the edge of the belt. Go down here. We're going to end this right here because we're going to put a knot in. I don't know what is happening to my Photoshop. I think whatever this latest update was is trying to fix itself because there's that beta thing that they did where it's where Photoshop can fill in some stuff. I haven't used it yet. Looks pretty cool if it can work the way I'm hoping it works. So like if Photoshop has figured out a way to throw in objects or extra pieces to add to your project, then that might be the cool way to actually utilize AI. So what if you want to throw something into the foreground, or even throw something into the background or the foreground with whatever this thing is that Photoshop is turning out. We're gonna get his shell put in here. I'm gonna change that. So we need this to come down. We're gonna take this out. We're gonna draw this in. So we got this here. Hip. All right, this is gonna go down here-ish. So we're gonna extend the shell down here past his butt. fill those in. Whoops, why is that red? Oh my god, it's because I got it on that stupid mask mode. Alright, so his leg is also going to be kind of covered by the pipe here, and we might adjust that later. So we got a bicy here. You know what I think is screwing around with my computer is maybe my antivirus software that is trying to kick in and update. Oh, my buns cheeks. Let's try and see if we can finish putting in this other hand, and we'll throw some color on Raph here. And get in a little tighter. May also be that this is at 100%. For this picture, I may need to just dumb this down a little bit and put it at a smaller size, because this is going to be real high in detail if we've got this big. I don't think it needs to be this big. But we're going to go ahead and put in all of the edge of this fist. And that's probably going to extend out to there. We'll come back and finish that finger in a minute, but we want this to be a tight fist. So we kind of got a little bit of a reference there for his hand in the original sketch. Right. So go up this way. And let's see, are we still awake? Yes. We're so slightly. This finger's going to curve around here, and we want to have the wrinkles in the fingers, which this is going to be covered up by, again, the side blades of the side blades. It's almost a tongue twister. Side blades. Size side blades, size side blades, size side blades, size side blades, size side blades. I'm going to send that into Ralph. That's going to be a tongue twister for Tuesday. For Tongue Twister Tuesday on the Ralph Report, you need to listen to the Ralph Report. Let's get this muscle in here. Got that. That's kind of the bone of the forearm. I'm going to eliminate that. Because again, I have a tendency to make these bands on their wrists look like scrunchies. So I want to try and avoid that by keeping those pretty tight. Actually, we could turn this one into just him holding a sai. But, nah. But we are going to have to fix this part of his finger if we are going to do that, because it'll be a little bit farther up this way. Yeah, we'll have to think about that. So this part of his knuck is going to have to move up here-ish, maybe a little bit farther up. Nice part of Photoshop. You can fix stuff without having to erase it too much. All right. We're going to get a little bit of the tough part of the muscle of the forearm in here. Whoop. Okay, and then we need to put in the straps for the elbow pads, which are going to kind of extend over here. Not too far, not too far. We'll go ahead and we're going to stroke that subpath and then fill the rest of these because those look like they're supposed to look. Now. Fill. Like the groundhog fill? Yeah, like the groundhog fill. Okay, do that. This up. We're going to stroke those. I'm going to stroke this one. Again, that part of his elbow is going to be probably in shadow. So we don't need to do too much there. I'm actually thinking we need to shrink this arm a tad. It's a bit big. So let's take this arm and we're going to select this arm. Select the forearm area here and we can shape that up a little bit. I'm going to go over to the straight lasso, angular one. I'm going to paste that back in, and we're going to shrink it a tad. I don't think it needs to be quite that big. It can even go, could it go up? Maybe to here. Just need to be a tad smaller, not too small. Is that a good spot for it? See, isn't this nice? You can move this around. That hand was here and now it's here. See that difference? Just a little different. Since it's on another layer now, we can erase some of the details. We're actually going to we're going to fill this in and make that more of a silhouette. Okay, fill in some of that. I'm going to change this around. Go here. I'm going to fill that subpath. And we're going to stroke this one. Okay, and then we'll get in here. We're going to stroke that. We'll come over here. We're going to stroke that, and we can come right here and we're going to accentuate this spot and we're going to fill that. Okay, makes the los cientos? Sure does. Now that shoulder's a little stuck out, but I think that's okay. Like I said, we're going to make him a little bit beefier than the other turtles. Give him a little bit of a difference. I saw that there are two recent turtle series that are a bit different. One of them has a gigantic raft and smaller turtles that are a bit that they're drastically different between the turtles, and the Nickelodeon show that was on for a long time that my son watched was actually really, really good, and I wish they would just bring that back because it was an homage to the old show and at the same time did lots of different stuff, and it went on for a long time. It was actually really, really good. I'm going to get rid of this down here. Can I cut that? There we go. Doing a couple little small things with just the brush tool just to iron out some details. Oop. The raft here is proving to be a bit harder than everybody else because we just drew him 100% basically on the computer. And that's the benefit of drawing it in pencil first. And we can either have this sai go here, like he's holding it, like a regular sai, or we can have it here, like he's holding it out. What do you think? Since we have this one like that, we could do both of them that way. All right, I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to have, since the main blade goes here-ish, we can make that kind of held onto. All right, so we got that. And that can be wrapped as a handle. And then we're going to start with the side of this and the side of this. And we can have those go up to here-ish, here, here, and then maybe we'll stick that out just a little bit farther so we can see it. Okay, good. That look okay? That looks okay. Yeah. Good. We're going to keep that at kind of we're going to keep that a little more square. I like that look. All right, so we're going to do that. And I'm going to make the handle a little fatter. Now, will that work for there? This finger is going to have, this is going to have to go down some. So if that finger is going to be over the top of this, it's going to have to go down. So like there. Now that's going to work better for, you can actually even transform that and put it at a different angle. Right? May have to shrink this handle. It doesn't necessarily need to be that big. We can make that pretty small. I think that's a little bit better. The fingers are going to be really kind of spread out a lot if there's going to be a handle down here. Yeah, let's make that. I think that probably works. Let's see how that fits. So we're going to fill that with white and stroke that with the black. Yeah, let's go ahead and stroke that. We'll have to do a little bit of fixing on here. This might be the long way of doing it. Go here. We're going to kind of fix this. Nope, need that to be normal. Okay, there we go. Come here. Oh, we got a little bit of a flub there, don't we? Alright, go around here. Nope, wrong thing. So we'll go in here. We're going to kind of shape that up a tad. Alright. Oh. Give it a little, what do you call this? Would you call this the pommel? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we need this part we wouldn't see. You can see the finger going across here. Okay. So we wouldn't really see that. So his finger is going across here. Okay. we got that. And then this finger goes all the way up here. And here, let's turn this down just a tad. Now we can see it. That's better. So we get this, we get the edge of that finger, and it covers here. Okay, so we got that. Okay, that's better. Now, yeah, we could go in here and mask it, but I don't care. Masking is overrated, in my opinion. So we got that. Now we've got the sigh in there well enough. And we can kind of give this finger just a little bit of the edge that it needs there. That can have that. So a little more of the flesh. Okay. Now we put that all the way up. And now we've got the size being held the same way in both hands. Does that forearm look okay? I think it's all right. And we can even give him a little bit of a thigh right there. It can stick out. Okay, so now we got that. All right, his head is just a little too small, isn't it? So we're going to merge those layers. Let's bump Raph's head size up just a bit. Make him match the other turtles. Right? Is it too small? Let's see. We'll cut his head off. Is that better? A little bit? Maybe we can skew it some. How's that? A little bit better, maybe? Yeah, that's better. That's better. And we can get rid of that. We'll take off that edge of the shell. It doesn't need to be seen. Yeah, that's better. Let's turn the head just a tad. There you go. Cool? Yeah, I think that's better. We can turn this sketch layer off here. We don't need those anymore. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go in here and we're going to, we can merge, what am I needing? Oh, that's his head. Okay, we can merge these two layers and delete those two. Now let's turn down the other boys so we can see here, we can fill in our shapes a little. Okay, let's fill this in. So we need this to go back here. Now his leg might stick out back here, but I think we won't worry about that for right now. The shell's going to come down to this spot. This other leg will be out here. Again, we're just closing these leg shapes. And arm. This can all be pretty. So his elbow pads would be back here-ish. He's got a tricep that goes out this way. Right? Yeah. Oh, let's finish up the shell. Shell will be here. And give him a edge of his legules there. So everybody's shell kind of connects back here into this frame part of the shell. I'm going to finish this. Since that won't be seen, we got the edge. We're going to go ahead and fill that part off. And here on the skin. Okay. Got a little bit there, a little big. Okay, now, where do we want to put his bandanas? Do we want to have those kind of go maybe back? Maybe both of them are over here. We'll see. Let's see. We can do those back here-ish. We can have them go up. Let's figure this out here in just a minute. So we've got that. Let's go ahead and fill him in with some white. Okay. That's going to be another fill layer. We need to fix something here. What are we missing here? What is not closed off? His shell. Turn that back down to 4. Here. Oops. No. There we go. Fixing that, fixing that. Got a gap here. Good down there. Need to finish the belt. Fill in that part. Okay. Let's go ahead and close that off. All right. I think we got it. For the most part there. He probably needs a little bit more forearm right here. Maybe that's what he's missing. Not Q. That looks a little weird, but if we get rid of some of this. So we'll fix this. We'll fudge this a little bit later. All right, let's see what we can fill in as far as some more color. Damn, I see that right there. I need to fill that spot in. Okay. All right. We're just filling this in with white so we can get our better color layer in here. Okay, cool. I think that's good for there. Fill in the head, rest of the shell. All right, now we can get in here and throw in some color. Let's do the easy stuff first, which is what looks good with the red we choose for his mask. Go 100% red. We like color. Fill you in. Fill you in. We got this set up here on darken. Go down here. We're gonna have to fill in a little bit more with our darken pen tool. That's why we had that so big last time. Just to fill in these gaps. Now you can turn your tolerance level up or down. But for this, since we did this a little weird, so that's got to go a little bit more. Okay, so we got that. Let's see. Let's fill in the mouth. Okay. Maybe we even take off some of this. Nah, he needs to have a head. He's got to have some head shape. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Maybe we put a little... No. Alright, let's get him a decent green. Let's turn the other boys up. No, I'm not going to put the new yellow turtle in this. I don't know enough about that character to do that for this one. Not there, we're here. Let's see what that green's pretty good. Let's give him a little more on the darker side. Does he look good a little darker than the others? Let's just see what colors we can change this to. I'll go to my adjustments, hue and saturation. We can saturate them a little bit more, make them a little darker green, more on the blue side. How's that? A little bit of a darker green, more. Let's give it a little bit more vibrance there. I'm going to change him to get him a little more vibrant. That's okay, not too drastic. Let's go with this green. Okay, got that filled. Fill that area. Fill that some. We're only gonna be able to get to the colors tonight, guys. I got too much stuff to do between now and next week. Filibuster that, filibuster this. Okay, whoops. A little bit on the thigh, a bit on that thigh, arm. Okay. Now I'm gonna make his pads the same color as Donnie's. Okay, get in here, fill that in, not like that. Do you there, do you here. Let's get in closer to Mikey's main colors for the light part of the shell. Little fixes we gotta make. Oops. Little small tidbits here. Ink. Nope. We'll get those filled in. That looks fine. Okay, I'm gonna make. Oh geez, we went a little bit too long tonight, but we had some tech problems tonight, so We got those filled in. All right. So one more thing. One more thing. We'll get that in there and that there. And then I'm going to make this is just going to go black for now. Okay. We got that. We'll put in some shades on him. He's going to be pretty dark. I think we're just going to do a lot of highlights on Raph. That took way longer than I wanted it to tonight, guys, but we made it, didn't we? Okay, we expanded our canvas. We moved around some of the characters. We did a whole new Raph for this one because I wanted to show him more. We can even, if we wanted to, take Raph and move him up higher. We can make him bigger. So we don't want him to be bigger than Leo, but we can move him down. We'll keep him there. We don't need to show too much of Raph. We get it. We could even pull this. We can even cut this arm out and move it back some, but we'll see. We'll see what we get to on the next episode. So we still have to add the rest of the bandana to Raph, and then maybe we can get into some of the water, maybe even throw in this foreground shredder armor hand that's up in the foreground. Maybe put in some foot stuff. We need to get this background going shortly. Doing this in little hour segments it's a chore, but we need to show all the parts. We could even put another sword in here behind Leo so we see that he has two swords. We don't necessarily have to show that, but we're going to put the other nunchuck spinning later once we get a background in there. So that's all for tonight. All right, Cool Dojo drawing class. Be sure to go to tpublic.com/user/CoolDojoBro to get an old Greg shirt. Find him. It's a popular design on TeePublic. tpublic.com/user/CoolDojoBro and CoolDojo.com. Watch more Cool Dojo drawing class on our YouTube channel. Good night, guys.